Hey YouTube. So this is day 3. I skipped Thanksgiving. Off the bat, I just want to acknowledge my bags. I had a very emotional late Thanksgiving. Stuff that is very fresh. Um, Still processing and dealing with that. So it's kind of, you know, allowing me not to want to do working out right now. I just kind of want to just like crawl up into a ball and just like be the introvert that I really am, because I just like find out more and more that I'm more of an introvert than I like to admit. But people don't actually see that part. They see more of the extrovert, and so they assume like that falls into everything. Like yesterday, I was like I wanted to be so isolated, so isolated. I literally like I figured out a way to do that. I was in a parking lot for 2 hours, just in my thoughts, just away from everything, everyone. Shout out to my cousin for talking to me for a little bit during her festivities. But this video is not about her. It's not about that. I just want to acknowledge that because it's real life, and I don't think people show that side majority of the time because it's not popular. It's not real, but it's also a reflection, like this is something all of these viewers that these people have probably go through, more than likely go through, but don't acknowledge it or don't want to acknowledge it. They kind of I feel like they come to social media, or they come to videos to kind of get away from those things. And I do that too, like, especially at work, whenever I'm, heavy into a project or something like that, and I just want to turn it off. I want to turn everything off. I'll go on to, other people's videos to kind of just either feel a little bit better about what's going on in my life, um, or like learn something new, or, feed the side of me who really wants to be this fashionista, um, things like that. Or sometimes I'll come for those moments of like, I want to connect with other people, but unfortunately, I don't have a circle that can relate to what I'm going through right now. They can only empathize and sympathize with me. So, it's nice to kind of almost feel like I'm reaching out to distant friends and kind of like checking in and hearing that they're going through very similar things. And I'll probably talk about it in, another video. But this video is dedicated to um, my fitness and stuff like that. So it is my life section of my, videos. But after 3 minutes, I think it's time to move on because I really want to translate to those watching who are thinking of getting back on their fitness journey or considering it or battling with it. You know, that sometimes when you step out to do those things, you're not always stepping out feeling yourself, feeling like this is the best thing to do, feeling like, this is a priority right now. There's a lot of benefits to physical activity during times of need where you're mentally not really there. So, for instance, for this walk, I'm only doing a walk today. That's the most I could do. That's the most I'm going to do. I just don't feel like it. My body's actually sore from my day 2, which isn't a bad thing. It's sore in a good way. In areas it's lightly sore, which is good. I didn't work out yesterday for Thanksgiving. I just didn't have the time. Honestly, just things kept coming up, and I didn't have the time to really sit, even for 20 minutes. Just spending time with family and, dealing with stuff towards the end. But, um, you know, currently, my head space is not where I want it to be. I'm kind of still processing, like I said, and dealing with things. So I said I would walk. I'm walking rather far. I'm having that itch to just go. And by go, I mean get away, run. Run, not physically, but that part of you who's kind of like, all right, we need to get away from civilization. We need to isolate ourselves in a productive or semi-productive way. So I'm doing a lengthy walk today, at least attempting to, because in my head right now, I'm still dealing with the weight and not being comfortable in where I'm at and not wanting to be seen. And by not wanting to be seen, I'm not talking about like friends and family because I could care less about them. But it's the strangers, which is so weird. Um, like I'm surrounded by family homes right now, which I'm fine with. But for some reason, going to a park, it bothers me. But then when I see other people, like for instance, who may not look, comfortable in their weight and they're working out, I'm like, good for you. Like, fuck yeah, you do your thing. Like, like I'm like, look at me driving this car and I should be out there walking with them. So whatever. But to kind of balance out the fact that I'm not feeling myself, I'm also listening to a podcast, so getting my mental game together while I'm walking, so it's really distracting me from how far I'm going. um so that definitely helps, makes a big difference. um I also have chosen to walk near sceneries that I really like. So there's a park by my house. This is a real neighborhood park, in a sense. Like, it's a park within a neighborhood. Like, you wouldn't know that it was a park to kind of come to. Not to say, okay, all parks essentially are in a neighborhood. But if you guys know what I mean, you know what I mean to say, like, this is not a destination park. Like, there's no parking spaces. This is really for people of the neighborhood. So I'm kind of just walking around here. I really like it because it has a lot of trees. It's really cool. It's quiet. It kind of reminds me of Georgia, where I want to be right now. And so, kind of just, you know, surrounding myself around things that I like and I want, and to kind of alleviate, my feelings. And I'm listening to my podcast, Oprah's podcast on Spotify. I did not know it was on Spotify. For a very long time, I would only listen to it on podcasts. And I really hope I'm not covering the mic. I'm going to see in a minute. But yeah, I'm listening to Becoming. Becoming, with the interview with Michelle Obama, and her talking about her becoming book, which I will be reading shortly, or listening to, really. I don't have an Audible coupon code or whatever, but there's some other YouTubers who do, so check that out. But I kind of been wanting to, that's another thing too that I've been wanting to do, and that is really getting more, like reading more books. I've gone through a book and a half already, in about 3 months, which isn't bad because compared to zero, that is a win, honey. That is a win. I was listening to Iyanla Vanzant's book, Get Over It. I didn't connect well with that book. I couldn't really get through. I kind of forced myself to listen to most of it. It just wasn't for me. I really like watching her. I like, going through the process and what she's dealing with. But yeah. So there's that, and then the other part, other book that I listened to, the first book that I listened to, which was amazing, was Jennifer Lewis, her book about her life, and it was just, darling, honey. I felt like I was her friend. Like, at the end of the book, I felt like I was her friend, like I knew her, you know. So yeah, I'm listening to that, and it's really interesting. It's touching on some really great points. I'm still in the beginning of it because I've only walked for about 26 minutes, I think, using again Map My Run to kind of track how far I'm going and the time that I'm going and stuff like that. It's always nice to look at that to see, what was going on while I was there. It's really cool outside, thank God. So that's another reason why I wanted to be outside. But yeah, so today is kind of just one of those days that I'm getting it done in a different mood, in a different headspace, but I'm still getting it done. I just felt like I need to be active. I'm gonna go home later after this. I probably will go to Goodwill because I wanted to get some deals. But it is Black Friday, so people are out on these streets, which I'm kind of like not wanting to do. I do have homework. I do have work that I need to do. So I'll probably be doing that when I get home. But I thought I'd share this with you guys and check in with you guys and let you know that I'm still here. I'm still pushing. I'm still, you know, attempting this. I'm still fighting for it. And I mentioned that, I think, in my last vlog. Oh, come 2 inches, because, boy, I did not have a ponytail like that before. I think I mentioned that before, of just like fighting for it. I'm still fighting. Still fighting. And I just sounded like a bee. I hope not. Yeah, so I'm still fighting for it. I'm fighting differently. I'm not fighting at my full potential. My mental game is a little off, but I'm still fighting for it. So I'm hoping that you guys who are dealing with this or wanting to step out and do what you need to do, that you continue to do so, or you attempt to do so, because working out and dealing with weight, or dealing with, feeling better, it doesn't always look the same for everybody. It doesn't always, come out like kicking and screaming. Sometimes it's really like holding back tears and, barely moving. But the goal is not about, the goal is not to always be the same. The goal is to be true, but still, fight for it. Still show up, still attempt. So that's what I'm doing. It's looking a little different today, looking a little heavy, but I'm doing it, and I'm happy I'm doing it. I'm getting out of my head, because in my head I was like, oh, this doesn't make sense. I should just stay in the bed. I did that for 30 minutes, and I was like, nope, we gotta go. We gotta do it, because when you look back at it, you're upset and you're mad at the world that you didn't do it. So keep fighting, guys. I'm gonna keep fighting, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video.